Good morning, dear 8th standard students. I, Miss Pushpalata, welcome you all for today's online SST class. Children, in today's session, we are starting a new lesson in our SST subject, and it is your civics branch. The name of the lesson is Indian Constitution, that is your lesson number 3. And today we are going to study the first part of this lesson. What is the name of the lesson, children? Indian Constitution. I hope you all have opened your lesson and this page where lesson number 3 is given, Indian Constitution. Children, let us know why there was a need for the Constitution. We all know that our country, India, was a slave country and the Britishers were ruling over our country before independence. In 1947, we gained independence. After we gained independence, the leaders felt a need to form a government. And so, an interim government was formed in the year 1947. Now, to run a large country like India, it was very important to frame a constitution where the rules, regulations, amendments, acts would be given to run such a big country. According to our constitution, India is a democratic country. We have adopted a democratic form of government. Now, how to run a democratic form of government was there because of the constitution. Now, to frame a constitution was not an easy task. To frame the constitution of such a large country like India, at first a constituent assembly was formed with a large number of leaders who helped to frame the constitution of our country. Now, as to frame the constitution was not an easy task, 8 countries' constitutions were studied, and with the help of the constitutions of these 8 countries, the constitution of our country was framed. Now, here comes the picture of our constitution book. It is exactly like this as it is given in this slide. Now, what is a constitution? Let us know. So, it is a book which has systematic compilation of sets of rules to run a country like India. And this set of rules, the book having this set of rules is known as the Constitution. Now, a constitution of any country, not only our country but any country, can be in written or in unwritten form. One peculiarity about the constitution of our country is that its speciality is that the constitution of our country, India, is the longest ever written constitution in the world. Now, our constitution starts with what? So, the constitution of our country starts with the preamble. In this slide, I have shown you the picture of the first page where the preamble is given. Here on the right hand side, you can see the printed preamble of the constitution of our country. Now, the preamble does not grant any power, but it gives a direction and purpose to the constitution. It is the summary of the whole constitution given in the preamble with which the constitution starts. It outlines the objectives of the whole constitution. That is why I said that it is the summary of the complete constitution. The preamble contains the fundamentals of the constitution. The preamble to an act sets out the main objectives which the legislation is intended to achieve. What is the work of the legislation, children? That is legislature, one of the organs of the government, to frame laws. And where these laws are given, How the government in this organ will frame laws? With the help of the constitution. Whether it is the government, any politician or a common citizen like you and me, we all are abided by the constitution of our country. Now how this constitution was framed? Now the constitution of India is framed with national goals and aims such as democracy, socialism, secularism, national unity and much more. A constituent assembly was formed to frame the constitution of our country. When did this constituent assembly start working? Yes, it was the 9th day of December in the year 1946, and a number of prominent leaders and scholars throughout the country participated, became a part of the Constituent Assembly. Here I have put down some of the pictures of some prominent leaders who were the members of the Constituent Assembly. Male as well as female members, photos are put here who were a part of the Constituent Assembly. And it was their effort which made the Constitution of India. Now leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Azad, Shama Prasad Mukherjee, Sardar Baldev Singh provide their guidance in framing the constitution. From the Anglo-Indian committee represented Frank Anthony, and from the Parsi community represented H.P. Modi. Some scholars like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was also the chairman of the drafting committee, and K.M. Munshi were a part of the Constituent Assembly. Female representatives, as we saw in the picture, with many more females, Vijayalakshmi Pandit and Sarojini Naidu were also a part of the Constituent Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected the president of the Constituent Assembly, who also became the first president of independent India. Now, the role of the Constituent Assembly in framing the Constitution: to take care of various aspects, subcommittees were formed under the Constituent Assembly. Constitution, as I told you, of 8 countries was studied to frame our Constitution. Now, to give a final shape to our Constitution, a drafting committee was framed, which headed with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as its chairman. Now, total 166 meetings were held in a period of 2 years, 11 months and 18 days to frame the Constitution of India, and it was on 26 November 1949 the committee passed the Constitution, which was enforced on 26 January 1950, and that is why 26 January 1950 as celebrated as Republic Day from the year 1950. So children, what is the importance of the Constitution of our country? Why do we need a Constitution? How to run the administration of a country is given in the Constitution. So for the smooth functioning of the administration of a democratic country like ours, that is India, our Constitution has served to be very, very helpful. The political leaders cannot misuse their powers, as we all are abided by the Constitution. A Constitution serves many, many objectives. It is a document which finely weaves ethos and ideals of our country. It tells what kind of a government our country should have. Therefore, for all these reasons, the Constitution of India is very, very important. Now, under today's session, we are going to study, among other salient features, first two salient features of the Constitution. Now, the first salient feature that we are going to study in today's first part is democratic rule. As we all know, according to our Constitution, we have adopted a democratic form of government, where the government is formed by the people, of the people and for the people. The member leaders or representatives are one among us. Elections are held every 5 years, and citizens who are 18 years above, they can cast their important vote. People play their role in electing their own representatives. That is why we say democratic country is where a government is formed by the people. Any voter can contest the election irrespective of his or her caste, religion, class or gender. He can be a man or she can be a woman representative. The elected representatives, they rule for a period of 5 years in our country. In democratic country, a citizen enjoys the freedom to follow any religion of his choice, because it is one of the important fundamental rights given to us by our constitution. Now we come to the second salient feature, that is secularism. A secular nation means that the government does not conform to the norms of any particular religion in its system of governance. All the religions, though India is a Hindu country, that means majority of the people here in our country follow Hinduism, but all the religions are given equal importance and respect in a secular country like ours. Citizens are not discriminated on the basis of their faith, sect or religion. All are treated equally, whether it is a field of profession, whether it is a field of education or whether it is the field of politics. All are equal in the eyes of the constitution in a democratic country. So we have adopted secularism. Every citizen enjoys the right to follow and propagate the religion of his or her choice. So children, in today's first part of lesson number 3, Indian Constitution, we have studied the face of India after independence. What is exactly constitution mean? What is preamble? Why we needed a constitution for our country, according to which we have adopted a democratic form of government? What was the role of Constituent Assembly in framing the constitution for our country? The special characteristic of our constitution we have studied in today's part, that is the longest ever written constitution in the world. Then the 8 countries which were constitution of these countries was studied before framing our Indian constitution. Then under the first part today we studied 2 salient features, that is democratic rule and secularism. And based on today's explanation, I have prepared a homework exercise for you, which you have to write after watching this video carefully. Children, nowadays your class test is going on. You also have to revise for tomorrow's examination, and morning time 8:15 to 8:25 we have to be a part of the Google Meet for that particular day's examination. So all the best for your class test. Be in touch with your online classes also and complete your PDFs as you get time after revising your class test lessons. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day ahead.